Okay, looking back on, we've been doing this together for almost 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And looking back, are there some things that you can draw out that have really deepened your understanding of God's design for women, or or lessons that have really popped out to you?
Oh gosh, there's too many.
I know.
It's hard to pull out lessons without just saying the stories
I know.
of the women,
Right.
which I actually kind of like that because it makes it more tangible.
Yeah. You can change my question too.
No,
What do you want to say?
no. So, yeah, I just as I sometimes do, like, scroll through or look back, like we've looked back on like a year of podcasts and seen the trials, struggles, giftings, blessings, challenges that have come out in these stories. Yeah, I guess it's just it's God is faithful.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know why I'm
That's okay.
so. I think, yeah, it's just God is faithful. God's faithful when you lose a child, like my friend Shelly
Yeah.
has and came on the podcast and talked about. God is faithful when you have kids with disabilities or struggles. Emily Colson is one of my favorites that we've talked to.
And
on
Marie
that.
Wood.
Marie Wood, our friend Marie, who came on right at the beginning
Yeah.
and recently lost one of her boys to the disease that challenged him his whole life. And incredible women who have done all kinds of things. Cheryl Batchelder, CEO of a big company, and she came on and talked about, like, I'll never forget her talking about crying in a business meeting. Do you remember?
Yes.
And ever since Cheryl talked to us about crying, I've changed how I feel about crying. I used to think, oh, crying makes you weak or shows like weakness.
Yeah.
And Cheryl said she was in a meeting and that her boss was like, you got to stop that crying stuff.
Yeah, what does this mean? He said, what does this mean?
And then she's like, I don't think I can. And he was like, what? And then she said to him, well, I'm crying right now actually because I'm so angry with you. And that like stopped him in his tracks. And I realized, oh, I cry sometimes when I'm angry too.
Yeah.
And I cry over, well, the older I get, I cry more easily. But
Right.
anyways, and I mean, there's just so many stories but the message that always comes through, Judy Squire, born without legs.
Right.
God is faithful.
I know.
God is faithful. And it looks different.
Yeah.
But if we can catch it in someone else's life, it helps us to look back and see it in our own life and maybe even in the present moment